Well, guys, we're here with the team behind The Land. Stephen, kind of get us started with introductions. We'll start with you.
Yes, my name is Stephen Caple Jr. I am the writer-director of The Land.
My name is Ezri Walker.
AKA the Messiah.
My name is Ezri, aka the Messiah, and I play Booby.
I'm George, and I play Cisco.
My name is Rafi Gavron. I play Patty Cake.
Our last name.
So, in the process of creating all these fun characters, I know so much is based on your life. Where did each one kind of come from? Like, where did each character get their inspiration, if you will?
No, great question. So it's layers to it. One, the film was based off of two actual kids that I followed in real life. So the storyline and plot is loosely based off of these two kids who were actually selling drugs and using the money to survive, while they were skateboarding and sponsoring themselves. But Cisco is actually my cousin's name, and that's where that kind of comes into play. So his storyline is similar to a family member's. And Booby is actually my nickname, and so that's where this guy's storyline comes from in a way. But ultimately, all four of my life, my different sections or levels of my life, or phases, were in each one of these guys' stories. So at first, I was living with my mom and my pop, and my father worked at a factory. So that's where Michael K. Williams' character comes into play. That's where Booby's lifestyle comes into play. But my dad had a crazy drug addiction. And so when he left home, I lived in a single-parent home, which is, Moises isn't here, but Junior's lifestyle being mom, a nurse assistant, played by Natalie Martinez. That was my similar upbringing, and had a younger sister. So that kind of tied into it. And then whenever I would see my father, when they did the divorce, I had to live with my grandmother, me and my mom and my younger sister, and it was a house full of cousins. So that's where I lived with Cisco and everybody like that. And that's where Patty Cake's story come into play, where he has all these kids running around and he's frustrated. Like, I was in that kind of environment. And then my dad, whenever I would see him, there was sort of this resentment towards him. I felt like the struggle, what we were going through, is because of his drug addiction in a way. So it got personal. And that's where George's relationship, or Cisco's relationship with Uncle Steve, hit the name Uncle Steve, kind of based off my dad. We had that kind of dilemma. So that's how I was tackling the scenes and tackling the writing. I was able to put a lot of my life into the script.
Ezra, you're from Cleveland.
Yeah.
The other guys, though, Rafi, you're from London, so you're way the hell out there. But you guys came into it where Ezri's, this is your backwoods, you know this just as well as Stephen.
Yeah. And we talk about it often, like the contrast of how these guys helped me as a first-time actor, just, coaching me and just making me feel comfortable being, on set and on camera, just making me feel like the camera's not even there, you know what I'm saying? And me kind of helping them understand how Cleveland operates and giving, like, just the authenticity of Cleveland, bringing that to the plate. I feel like it like, we just balanced out, and like, whatever one needed, the other one had, you know what I'm saying? Whatever aspect somebody else might have been slacking in, the other one was there to, like, pick up on it. So that's how we like work, and it just balanced very well.
Yes.
And we shot at his house, the whole nine.
Yeah,
so
like we shot it, like,
we kept it.
Just kept it authentic, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was living like maybe 10 minutes away from where these guys were staying at. They were staying in some lofts, and I was like in the projects, you know what I mean? And I had I'm a musician, and so I was like recording all my studio equipment in my bedroom. And first day I met Rafi, found out he made beats, and so that like added to the relationship building aspect, because then they're like, yo, we should move this kid in, like, we're all staying together. So he bought me an air mattress, moved me in this little closet in George's room, and I brought all my studio equipment in there, and I was staying with them. Like, I like left home for the whole time we were shooting this movie, like 5 weeks, to stay with these guys and just build with them and just grow. And like I said, like, add to whatever somebody else might have been missing, or like same, you know what I'm saying, they did vice versa. So it just balanced like crazy.
Stephen, what was it like kind of figuring out where you wanted to shoot, why you wanted to shoot in certain scenes in certain areas, and like being able to capture that, but also, we were talking with Rafi yesterday about y'all had a ballsy idea to shoot during a parade, and to complete that and do that and know what craziness happened. What was it like, though, showing us Cleveland the way you wanted to show it?
No, definitely. When we were going around talking to different producers and financiers for the project, they wanted us to shoot in New Orleans. They want us to shoot in Atlanta, everywhere but Cleveland, because of tax incentive reasons, because of whatever they called crew, getting crew, which we had plenty of in Cleveland. and great crew at that. But I wanted to show a different city. You know, I think we saw New York, we saw LA, we saw Chicago. You know, I was like, no one really sees Cleveland. And for what we grew up, we call it the land, so no one's seen that section of it. And so when we got there, we wanted to shoot at real locations. So example, we shot in front of his house. We shot at a block I grew up in. We shot in a diner that was, you know, pretty popular around the inner west side. We shot on parks where people just hang out. And so we had that level of authenticity, but we also had the dangers that come with it. And so, yeah, we shot at this Puerto Rican festival. The producers from the jump wanted to, they wanted to reenact and do a fake film festival. I mean, a fake Puerto Rican festival. But I really wanted to be, you know, I wanted to get that feel of the boys hanging out with tons of people around. And me and Ezri knows, you know, every year that something kind of usually pops off, whether it be a fight, whether it be something big, some cops, anything. This year I was hoping something a little different. And while we were there, these guys were on a ride. We're setting up for like some, you know, ride shots with them, going to slow motion, doing some cool stuff. And 5 feet away from me, 10 feet away from them, probably just bah, bah, I heard gunshots and like hundreds of people scattered. Like literally, like you saw this whole opening just
Everybody
fill
just
up.
gets to running, bro.
Everybody was running, and then, you know, my makeup artist next to me, she's clawing in my arm like, what are we doing? And I'm ducking down, I look up, and I see voices trying to escape out the ride, and as he's over, like, calm down. And everyone was just scattering, and it was like, man, we're about to shut down day right now. Because I knew no one got shot, because I would have heard, like, yo, da, 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 like some kind of rambling at first, some hustle. But we didn't hear any of that. And then we went back to the trucks. We laid low for a bit to figure out what was the situation. And while we were waiting, 10 more gunshots went off. And apparently a young kid, 18 years old, got shot. Was in critical condition. And those are some of the things we faced. You know, we went to other locations where we were using prop blank guns. And as we were shooting gunshots, you heard gunshots on the next block that were actual real, you know, competing with ours. We do 2 or 4, they do 16. We do 4, they do whatever, 24. So it was like that, and it was just a game. It was just a part of the environment. But everyone got a chance to experience that, and, you know, it felt real.
It's crazy how you see that on screen, though. I was blown away at how much I felt like I was there. Like, if you'd shot this in New Orleans, it would have been completely different.
Yeah, no,
It
definitely.
played into the film the way that New York plays into a film. You know, it's like it's a character in the film, New York
Definitely.
City, and that's why.
And it's
Cleveland
gonna
is
add
a character in this film, just the way Baltimore's a character in The Wire. You know, it's the
Yeah.
same shit.
Yeah, I think it's gonna add to it when like people see it, and people from Cleveland see it, and they're gonna be able to be like, oh yeah, I pass that on the way to work every day. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that element is like valuable for this film.
Yeah.
And so
They're
I'm
more
glad
mamas.
it ended up the way it is, because I'm sure Cleveland's gonna be excited about it. You know?
Can you talk about being able to showcase the multicultural elements of Cleveland, not just one side? I mean, you guys do show different families with different perspectives.
It's not even like a try thing for real.
Yeah.
That's how it is.
Yeah, he got it right on the money. We have Machine Gun Kelly in the film. He's a white kid from our neighborhood. You know, he's from the slums as well. My mom's Puerto Rican. His mom is Puerto Rican. We're both mixed. So, like, that's the kind of environment we grew up in. You know, it was like we were more so divided by class and race, you know, so we were just like in the hood or in the projects, at least for the west side, majority of the part, but you grew up with people who were just stuck in those situations. And so, you know, when exploring the film and shooting at these locations, the Puerto Rican Festival is a real event. The west side market is a real place, and if, you know, the people that are there all come to one spot, whether you're rich or poor. And so it was just like, I didn't have to do much, but just turn on the camera and go to these locations. And the rest of the stuff was just kind of like, what's there? You know, but when I wrote the film, I wanted to keep that alive. The fact that there were different races, the fact that there were different cultures in this one little melting pot or salad or whatever you want to call it, mixed salad. Yeah.
How'd you get some of these amazing women to be in this film? Linda, obviously, for us Dallas folks, I mean, to get Miss Badu into this is that's a hell of a role for her.
No, it is. We had Linda. We had Erica, we had Natalie Martinez, we had some great women in the film. The script, honestly, it was just a script and a tonal piece that I shot 2 years before that. I did a small little short film that kind of gave you the tone and mood. And once they got a part of the project, we just did a lot of talking. It was over the phone conversation first. The first time I spoke to Erica was over the phone. And she says that she asked me, but her whole thing was like, she's like, hey, what kind of hoe am I? Like, am I a fishnet wig wearing hoe, or am I a house shoe wearing hoe? And I was like, yeah, house shoe wearing hoe. And I was so excited. I was like, you're a house shoe. You know what I'm talking about? And she was like, I'm in. Like, that was legit our conversation. She tells people that she asked me what it was. She actually said that, and I thought it was hilarious. But she understood the character. And then after that, you know, she was sending me videos on her cell phone because she was on tour at the time. And her, like, trying to get rid of her accent, trying to work on this, and trying to embody turquoise, which was really cool. In the midst of that, I was working with these guys at production and working on their stuff. And then Linda came aboard. I sent her a nice letter trying to get on this project. I didn't think she was going to do it. But she joined, and she showed us love, and she came out, and she was really committed, and she wanted to do something she didn't do before. So that was nice.
Very cool.
Yeah, and she's proud of it. She saw the film yesterday.
She liked it?
She liked it. Okay. I'm glad.
Can we talk about last night? That was a packed house. That was a hell of a good screening.
Yeah, how'd you guys feel about it?
I liked it.
It was lit.
It was tight. Like Sundance, obviously Sundance is like bigger and it's like a lot of hype around it and like a lot of buzz, and so it's cool to like watch it. You know what I'm saying? Separate from, you know, a lot going on.
Yeah.
And you know.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Like, you know, you get a festival, you come to a festival that's more, you know, a little bit more grounded, and you have people that are actually like audience members and goers, and you get a home feel, you know, rather than an industry feel and people taking notes. People are there to actually enjoy and watch your film. And so that's why I was nervous. I was like, this is actually like a real audience right now. It's no like industry folk in here. These are like people who go to the movies. And so I'm like, how they feel is how, you know, the regular audience members feel. And the turnout was great. The response was great for us to go after the after party and everyone saying how they felt. They cried 3 times. I did this, or blah, blah. I laughed. I couldn't believe this person. It was just amazing to see what people connected to and what areas people were laughing at, what area people were crying at, so to speak. So, yeah, it was a powerful night, and it was really fun. I dug it.
You know, when we were on the red carpet, I brought up getting to work with Nas and how amazing that must have been. But can we talk about all elements of the music, the beatboxing, just the bringing y'all together through not just skateboarding, but the music side of it, and what that means for y'all being able to embrace that as actors and you know, just regular people as well.
Yeah, I mean, it was tight for me because I'm trying to think of how I like to say this.
I'm great, you know what I mean? I do everything.
It's cool for me to watch like my mom's eyes light up when she meets Nas because that's somebody she listened to when she was coming up. You know what I'm saying? I can't necessarily, I don't necessarily get the same feeling that she does meeting Nas. You know what I'm saying? As a younger individual, I can understand like he's an extremely talented, respected individual and a legend, but it's not the same for me as it is for my mom and my dad. You know what I'm saying? Meeting Nas and meeting Erykah Badu, and so that's where like. That's what like my excitement comes from. I'm like, damn, like this is possible because I'm just doing what I love to do. I'm like creating music that I love. That's how he even found out about me in the first place, was through my music. And so like this is my first time acting, and me and Rafi, we were just in there like making music. Like, man, it'd be tight if this shit's in the film, like talking about it, you know what I'm saying? And talking about how like tight it would be if Nas were like to hop on the verse. And then for him to be in the studio weeks later after like we're getting done filming with Nas, listening to the songs that we were just recording in the closet, you know what I mean? It's like, it's just an experience that you can't really put into words. It's like something that you just live in and you just watch it like develop and come to fruition.
It was very meant to be with that whole situation. I mean, you know, you can think, I mean, listen, I don't know how talented me and Ezri actually are. That remains to be seen. But, you know, I mean, think about the amount of times that indie movies are made and some kind of moronic young actor has a little, you know, a song with a guitar. And it's like, I hope this gets in the film. It's like, oh, Jesus, man, get out of here, you know. So we were just doing it for the love of it because on our downtime, we just wanted to be creating. And the process of it was me and him were just dancing around the bedroom. I mean, literally, we set up a studio and we were just dancing around. And as a result of what we did, that movie is, that music, like that song is end credits. So as soon as it cuts to black and there's footage of the boys on foot, that's our song, me and Ezri. So that made it to the end of the film. And it's the only song that pretty much plays all the way through other than Nas and Erykah's song. And then, you know, you haven't seen the teaser trailer yet, but it completely monopolizes that. So for us, I mean, like, I've been doing it for a year. And like Nas and Erykah are my heroes. Like I get the same thing as Ezri's mum. I mean, I lost my shit when I met Nas. You know what I mean? And for him to just, whether he gets on my track or not, for him to tell me, wow, you know, this is dope music. And his record label is putting out the soundtrack that me and Ezri will be on, at least one song. It's massive for me. It's massive, and I know it's massive for Ez. And Steven, he told me a number of times, it's like, the fact that you guys made this, and this is exactly what we need for this music, for the movie, it was just like, there was so many pieces that were just meant to be. It was kind of amazing. It just really worked. And I can hear that it works. Whether I think I'm that good or not, it's like the song really works for the movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they have another song too that's on the soundtrack as well. That's going to be there with Machine Gun Kelly. All in all, yeah, it just meshed together very well. It was one of those meant to be scenarios. And he's right. When they were playing the music, I was like, man, they were all said we're going looking at locations and going to rehearse, and they're bumping their music, and he's freestyling. In the truck.
We got George and Moises freestyling.
We got it all on video too, and it was just like, man, I'm like, this works. I'm like, I could see this here, I could see this there, and it was like, oh man. And then when showing Nas and Nas being like, yo, who's that kid? Who's Ezri? Who was that? That dude's fire. Like, I ate one sauce, and not like he's like talking about his lyrics, and I'm in the studio like, man, like Ezri wasn't there, but I'm like, the very first time, and Rafi wasn't there neither. I'm like, the way he was talking about him, and after seeing the movie, he's like, what's that other beat I saw? I'm like, yeah, Rafi did that too. He's like, what is this? He just saw these young artists just creating and having that passion. And that's where it came from. And I think that's what Nas respected, and that's what Erica respected, and that's why they were really hands-on with everything.
It's also crazy if you think about it. There's 4 out of 7 principal cast members that have songs in the movie, and this is not it's not like this is not a fucking musical. You know what I mean? And it's kind of crazy to think of that all of us, including 2 of the boys out of the 4 boys, and George was with us like every day. You know what I mean?
It was a lot of fun.
So it's like 2 of the boys, Erica, Michelle, there's so much music from all of us. So like we came at this project with all angles. At all angles, and we didn't even, that wasn't our intention. It just kind of happened.
It did,
cool.
Naturally.
And the impact-wise, I mean, the fact that he is going to fruition with the full soundtrack. I mean, Nas has done his documentary, and he didn't put that amount of time into that soundtrack. Like, this is a whole nother level for him to step up this way for you guys in this film.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah, no, I mean, his manager, I'm close with the manager, Anthony, and he said the same thing. He's like, I don't know what you got going over there, what kind of magic's happening, but like, Nas is so hands-on and like really passionate about you guys, and that really like it touched me in a way. I was like, man, I don't know, we are ourselves, and we're all passionate on different levels, and so I think I'm literally legit. I think that's what gravitated him and Erica to see like how hungry we are. You know
And that's
I mean?
what. I'm sorry. I just wanted to say this before I lost it. Like that's what I would say about just like the land and just the overall idea behind the film is like creating something out of nothing, and like. We, what I'm saying, we never really like tried to reach too hard. Like me and Rafi, like if somebody wasn't with something, we're like, all right, fuck it, we'll just do it ourselves. You know what I mean? And that's what got us to this point that we are now. You know what I'm saying? And just the authenticity of us is like attracting, I feel, these people to want to be a part of it, because they see like we're self-sufficient, like we're being proactive ourselves. Yeah. And that's what Cleveland is, honestly. Cleveland is a city where like there's no handouts. You got to get the shit yourself. And you're either gonna do it by rapping, selling Molly, you know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna make the choices that you make, but regardless, the bottom line is like you gotta go out there and get it yourself, because nobody's gonna hand you anything.
Yeah, true. And then with Nas, he wasn't touring at the time. He was still working on his album. But when we were in post, he saw the film, and our process was basically us sitting down, listening to her music, listening to other artists that were bringing him stuff, and we sat down and watched, every scene. I was like, what about this scene? I'm like, well, I got this idea. This is the tone I'm looking for. I dig that, this and the other. He was very like, this is like through Christmas break and New Year's Eve. And we were just working, and it was a great experience to be, same thing, a legend. I grew up listening to his album, so I'm like, I can't believe I'm sitting here right now going through my first film, through each scene, talking about, what music to pick. And he's like, let me call Kanye. I'm gonna ask him, like, you gonna call him right now on the phone? Like, it's like, that was kind of like the experience. And I'm like, he's hitting up people, and I'm like, this is insane, because how much respect the industry has for him, and the fact that he's doing this small project. And he saw the struggle in the project. Like, he saw, the same way he came up, with his game and his hunger, he saw that within a project. And I think that's what really, really pulled him in.
So I want to know the home court story, the behind the scenes, since you did get to film at home, when you guys were wrapped and you got to take them to somewhere that is you. Where did you take these guys to maybe not Ezri because he's there, but like Rafi and Jordan, get them introduced into your world? What did you do behind the scenes to get them introduced?
No, we
Pops.
actually, we saw. You said pops.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too. I took them around Cleveland. I definitely drove them around and showed them some places. Ezri was our first stop. So as we landed, I don't remember that. We went to his house and we saw where he lived. And again, he was a few blocks away from me, so we really were in tune. What I was talking about, the vision of the film. But one of the biggest things was my father, who I mentioned earlier. He's in a halfway house, a recovering home, and it's like on the east side of Cleveland in a really tough neighborhood. And we went there to go. What's up?
He said it's such a shitty neighborhood.
That's
Yeah,
it.
he leaves just like $1 worth of gas in his car. So if the motherfuckers steal his car, they only get halfway down the street.
That's how tough the neighborhood is. That is true. Yeah, he leaves like $1 of gas in the car, so if people steal his car, they can't get too far. That gives you an idea, like the
Yeah,
mindset you have
big
to have
time.
to live in these neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a funny story. But yeah, that they saw him, and he is like the epitome of Uncle Steve. He's the epitome of Cleveland. Someone that's always struggling and trying. He was always trying to get out, and he has his own things he's dealing with. And they were able to have a conversation with him and just hang out and smoke a cigarette. Or he came to set once, while we were hanging out and. Just talk to the guys, and they felt it, and that was like they saw a piece of me, and I don't expose that too often, and so when they got a chance to that, it kind of brought all of us together and connected them more into the city and the project, and they understood this is another layer to this. It's not just a film about kids selling drugs. It's like a real strong coming of age story with strong values, and it comes from a place of truth and honesty. So yeah, that's kind of the behind the scenes stuff that we did. I showed Moises, I had him looking at videos of skaters that I mentored and followed in LA that the movie's based off of, so he got a chance to see that. So there was different techniques that we just used, but majority of it was just being there, I think. Just being there, these guys exploring the city on their own and stuff like that. I think that's what really got us there.
Any fun scenes? Like Moises is an athletic guy, but I don't think he's a skateboarder. Did anyone bust their ass?
He skates
pretty good.
Him,
He's pretty good.
George and Moises were the two best skaters out of all four of us. So me and Rafi busted his head open last day of shooting, bro.
He sent me down a
Forgot
bridge,
about that.
like one of those walking bridges over a highway, and I got up to like
On a
25 miles
skateboard,
an
bro.
hour, and it started to
He's
wobble,
like,
yeah. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, I'm gone, yeah. Hit the fence, hit my head. I was like, oh, concussion, man. I
I
couldn't
skipped up
think
my
straight
elbow
for
a little
2
bit, man.
weeks.
I was had me
That was
rolling
fun.
around with knee pads everywhere, elbow pads, looking like a freaking
Yeah.
Down the hill.
10-year-old.
rolled out.
Yeah, it was
Moises has crazy amount of energy, and I was saying that yesterday at the
Yes,
Q&A.
yes.
And yeah, man, he'll jump on the board the way you're not supposed to. He'll just do all kind of off the wall stuff. Cause he's down for it. He's down to try things. He's very creative. And he was doing all of this. He was recovering from like a broken wrist from a film he did before. So he would like get on the board, jump, and he's about to fall, cover his wrist up, and it just land. And I'm like, what are you doing, man? And he's like, oh, no, Steve. Da, 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 da. All this energy, and I'm just like, whoa, you can't control him. Which was great for us because you're able to use that, for the scenes. And when they're all together, they all have this special thing about them, a special quality, and it comes on screen, and it's insane. It just kind of turned out that way. But yeah, Moises, man, we wish he was here, but he's definitely part of the family.
Yeah, he came to
Yes.
Diff for when Kings of Summer,
Yeah,
with
yeah.
all that, and so he was a wild child,
Yeah.
fun guy.
Yeah,
cool
no,
guy.
he is, man, all over the place.
Well, guys, Steven, what's next for the film? Where can people? I mean, for Dallas audience, we have one more screening, I believe, for us.
Yeah.
But where can
today.
people see the film after this?
After this, we're going to be premiering in Miami, New York, and LA. And our last stop is Cleveland, man. Cleveland's where we're going to hold it down and do something big for the city. And then after that, we hit theaters July 29th. So check it out, July 29th. Watch our film. It should be fresh.
Do we hit on demand as well, or no? Just theaters?
Under who?
On demand?
And we're going to be hit under demand later in August.
Speak English,
Yeah.
please.
Okay, yeah, exactly.
Speak English. American, please.
Unbelievable, yeah.
American, please. No.
Lazy.
Yeah, we hit on demand in August, and so like fairly close after the movie release in theaters, we'll be on demand. So check us out there too. And the soundtrack will come out too at the same week of July 29th.
Perfect.
Yeah, and some music videos. The whole nine. Just keep an eye out.
It's gonna be a big summer, guys.
It
Thanks for
is.
coming to Dallas, and
Thank you.
I'm sure we'll see each other all around. It's
Thanks
great
for
to see
having
you.
us.